Hi everybody, welcome to Living Well Without Breaking a Sweat. Today we'll be looking at some non-exercise activities and pursuits that positively affect well-being. My name's Tim, I'm a fitness manager with the National Institute for Fitness and Sport, and I live in Brentwood, Tennessee. Thanks for joining me for this presentation. Here's a few things that we'll be talking about. We'll talk about physical wellness and the case for pursuing an active lifestyle, intellectual wellness, what you can do to keep your brain fit for life, spiritual and emotional wellness and why mindfulness matters, some practical tips to get you started with some neat brain boosters and some other activities to try. We'll look at figuring out what appeals to you and also explore some local resources that might be available to you today. So let's start with physical wellness and the case for pursuing an active lifestyle. So you might be wondering, why should I stay physically active? Well, here are a few good reasons. As we age, a sedentary lifestyle can lead to a muscle loss of about 5 to 7 pounds per decade, which goes along with a metabolic rate reduction, so using less energy of about 3 to 5% per decade, as well as bone loss of about 1 to 3%, and fat gain of about 15 to 20 pounds per decade. All of that is really significant and can lead to an increased risk of disease, especially obesity. And about 1/3 of Americans right now are in the obese category, which can lead to some very serious conditions like heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and certain types of cancer. Here are a few things that you can avoid by being active. Like in addition to what we just talked about, you'll be able to avoid weight gain, diabetes, osteoporosis. All of these things up here are very negative, especially for older adults. That last one is falls. About 1 in 3 people over the age of 65 will have a fall each year. It's pretty scary. Most falls don't result in severe physical injury, but they can cause psychological damage for an older adult. This will cause a fear of falling, which will make somebody less mobile, less strong, and more likely to fall. Those things kind of work together as a negative feedback loop. So let's say somebody falls, they will develop a fear of falling, causes them to be less mobile, and that will make them lose muscle mass and strength, and that makes them more likely to fall. So those things all work together negatively to affect your health, especially as it relates to falling. Exercise can really reduce the risk of falling, which is why it's so important as we age. Here are a few physical benefits of exercise and keeping active. You'll improve your mood and sleep. You'll decrease your risk of serious disease, and if you have a condition, it can help you maintain or have better outcomes of that condition. You can also maintain and improve muscle mass, as well as improving your self-image and endurance. All of this works together, like we talked about, to decrease your risk of falling, especially for older women. It's very important to do weight-bearing exercise, as this can help hold on to muscle mass and bone mass together. So the bone mass, older women are at a higher risk for osteoporosis, so it's very important to get that weight-bearing exercise. As for the social benefits of exercise, you'll get increased engagement, which can lead to decreased depression and cognitive declines. Those are both things that we're trying to fight against as we age. Group exercise is a really great environment where you can meet new people and encourage each other as well. And buddy exercising is very effective for adherence, meaning that you will be more consistent with your exercise routine if you have somebody to do it with who can help you and encourage you along the way. It'll also help shape your community's culture. The emotional benefits of exercise include boosting good endorphins. Those are chemicals in your brain that provide rewards. You can also keep doing the things that you love longer, and you'll have a personal sense of pride and accomplishment for taking care of your body. Let's talk about NEAT. NEAT is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's basically, NEAT encompasses all the calories burned while living daily life, like walking to dinner, fidgeting, chewing gum, folding clothes, all these daily tasks that we are all already doing. NEAT is the energy that we burn from doing all of that. One way to increase your movement and activity is to consider more NEAT activities. Okay, here are a few neat brain boosters. So neat brain booster activities are based on exercises that can help strengthen your corpus callosum, which is a band of neural fibers connecting the two hemispheres of your brain. It can help boost levels of key neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine. It can help improve your mood and decrease levels of the stress hormone cortisol. It can also help raise a person's stress threshold. It can help effectively manage stress, as well as improve self-confidence. Let's go through a few neat brain boosters in action, starting with the postural brain booster. In a research study from 2015, it was found that sitting, standing, and moving with good posture elevates your mood, increases confidence, improves breathing capacity, strengthens core muscles, and boosts metabolism. So let's do the two-finger test. While seated or standing, place your pointer and middle fingers on your lips. Keep your fingers right where they are and draw your head back as far as you can without tilting. Notice where your fingers are in comparison to your head. That's the postural brain booster. So let's go through a yoga brain booster, which includes breath work. Practicing yoga can improve metabolism, breathing capacity, cardiovascular reserve. It can also raise GABA levels, which is a hormone that helps calm the brain. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which can then reduce anxiety and improve focus. This breath work is ideal for re-energizing the brain and body. So for this breath work brain booster, so we're going to develop a 6-second breathing cycle, which will get us 10 breaths in 1 minute. So you inhale for 2 seconds, hold for 1 second, and then exhale for 2 seconds and hold for 1 second, and repeat. So that's the yoga breathwork brain booster, number 1, called the 6-second breath cycle. Another yoga brain booster is to practice double breathing. The double breathing, you're sitting upright, palms on your thighs. You're going to inhale twice through your nose while tightening all your muscles. You then exhale through your nose and through your mouth and relax all of your muscles, and you repeat that several times. There's also the therapeutic and calming effect of a 3-part breath. So from a comfortable position with neutral spine, you're going to inhale and exhale through the nose. As you inhale, you'll expand your belly, ribs, and chest in that order. And as you exhale, you'll relax the chest, ribs, and belly in that order as well. So this forms kind of a breathing wave, and that's part of the 3rd yoga brain booster. The last brain booster is a dance brain booster. It's basically just a 30-second dance party. Dance helps the brain form new connections and work faster. It also increases blood supply to your brain, which fuels temporal and prefrontal brain activity, which is responsible for memory improvement. Here are a few seated neat brain boosters. So at your desk or while sitting down watching TV, you can wiggle or tap your toes and your fingers just to bring some circulation back into them and use up some energy. You can stand up and sit down at least every 10 to 20 minutes, which will help boost your metabolism and strengthen some muscles in your legs. After typing or writing for 15 to 20 minutes, stop and make circles with both wrists and open and close your fingers, which will help also improve circulation. While sitting at dinner or in a meeting with your legs under the table, try subtly lifting one leg at a time. Doing this several times, and then as you lift, point your toes towards the ground, and as you lower your leg, point your toes up. One thing you can do anywhere is fidget. The thing that drove your teachers nuts as kids is one of the things that started the research on the benefits of NEAT and that constant movement. Give yourself a hand or foot massage. You can knit, sew, paint, or draw. Every little bit helps. So here are a few simple social brain boosters. You get up and walk and get a drink of water. Say hello to everyone along the way. Water consumption by itself can help improve cognitive performance, particularly with visual attention and mood. That's from a study in 2014. Take a walk to see a neighbor or a friend instead of calling. You can handwrite a note and send a little gratitude their way. Try that once a week. You can walk while you're on a long phone call. Instead of lunch, schedule to meet a friend for a walk around the park while you can chat and catch up. Or you can play cards and board games. Those are the social, very simple, neat brain boosters. Let's move on to intellectual wellness. and we'll be answering the question, what can you do to keep your brain fit for life? Living well isn't just about a healthy body, it's about a healthy mind as well. The best way to practice intellectual wellness is through learning and engagement. Learning builds up your cognitive reserves. People who speak one language show symptoms of dementia 4 years before bilingual. Engaging in leisure activities reduces your risk of cognitive decline. For example, playing an instrument, gardening, or knitting. Unfortunately, watching TV increases your risk. The best way to strengthen existing connections and form new ones is through learning, and even more so when you engage with others in your learning experiences. Some neurologic studies show that regular mental exercise of about 20 minutes, 3 times each week, can help reduce your risk for Alzheimer's by up to about 70%. Moving on from learning and engagement, let's talk about puzzles and brain games. Many people enjoy brain games like puzzles because they're fun and they're a good way to keep your mind sharp. There are many varieties of each of these games, but there's something for everybody. Some of the benefits of these puzzles and brain games include improving your skills that are required for those specific games and puzzles, which makes you better at the things that you enjoy, and this can potentially delay dementia by building up your cognitive reserve. There's a variety available. You've probably heard of most of them, like number games, like Sudoku and math problems. There are word games and card and board games, and getting a variety of all of those types will help improve your brain fitness as well. Eating well for brain health. It's important to eat more fruits and vegetables. This includes leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, and berries. It's important to focus on whole grains over the white alternatives. Eat more omega-3s and less omega-6s. Foods high in omega-6 fatty acids include vegetable oils like corn and soybean oil, conventionally raised animals, dairy and eggs from conventionally raised animals, as well as fried foods. Some foods that include more omega-3 fatty acids include wild-caught fish, olive and canola oil, walnuts, flax seeds, chia seeds. All of those are great options. So we're trying to get more omega-3 fatty acids and less omega-6 fatty acids. Other foods that your brain loves will include spices like turmeric, cinnamon, and black pepper, coffee and tea, eggs, and dark chocolate. And we'll talk about a few more reasons why that's important. So leafy greens like spinach and kale, they're rich in many brain-loving nutrients, the vitamins and minerals that your brain needs. Blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries in particular are packed with antioxidants. In the theory of oxidative stress, everyday internal and external stress, the chemical reactions in our bodies produce free radicals or rogue substances that react with other molecules in your body and cause damage and inflammation. The basic idea is that these berries, they contain antioxidants that will neutralize those free radicals, therefore slowing the aging of our brains. Blood sugar spikes, they do affect our moods and damage our arteries. So simple sugars like carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates and refined grains and potatoes, it's important to substitute those with whole grains like oats, quinoa, barley, and brown rice. Your body digests these a bit more slowly, and your brain works off of those high-quality carbohydrates. So these are a great way to feed your brain. They also contain really good B vitamins that will reduce inflammation in the brain. Okay, let's talk about exercise. About 30 minutes of aerobic exercise on 5 days of the week has been shown to support brain health, support neurogenesis and neuroplasticity, and this can all help improve your memory and reduce risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. So the basic recommendations for exercise are thought to also be beneficial for brain health. The recommendations are about 30 minutes of aerobic activity, aerobic exercise on 5 days of the week. This brings more oxygen and nutrients to your brain because of the increased blood flow, which leads to a healthier vascular system. The movement and coordination requires a large amount of brain activity, which helps strengthen the connections and form new ones in your brain. Regular physical activity can reduce your risk of Alzheimer's disease by up to 50% according to some studies. Even after a dementia diagnosis and into the later stages, exercise and movement can help still benefit the brain and slow the decline with the disease. So the overall takeaway there is to move your body. Exercise is very important for maintaining brain health as we age. So just as exercise is very important for brain health, so is rest. We want to aim for about 8 hours of sleep each night. Some people will need 7, some people will need 9, but if we're right around 8 hours, that's going to be best for your brain and your body. A few ways to get that 8 hours: you can try limiting caffeine up to 8 hours before you have to go to bed. Caffeine is a stimulant, so some people find that keeps them awake more at night. So if you're looking to get the full 8 hours, limit the amount and the time that you drink that caffeine. You can also limit electronic use after 7 p.m., expose your eyes to more natural light during the day, and practice meditation, mindfulness, and other spiritual practices. Those last few, those spiritual practices, are ways to rest your brain while it's still awake. Sleep helps us solidify memories and skills that we learn throughout the day. It also has that time to recover, and this is when the brain heals and restores itself, is during sleep. We have greater attention and learning ability after a good night's sleep and are well rested. Let's move on to emotional and spiritual wellness. And we're going to be talking about how mindfulness matters. So the benefits of mindfulness include all of the above shown here. A few things on that list are developing an awareness of the physical response to stress, a decreased perceived severity of daily stressors, and a deepened sense of compassion. So all of those are benefits of mindfulness, and there's many more on that list. Here are a few mindfulness techniques. Mindful meditation, breathing exercises, yoga, guided imagery, daily gratitude journaling, and observation lessons are all very helpful for improving mindfulness. Let's move on to a few practical tips for starting your living well journey. So now that we know why you should exercise, let's talk about a few ways that you can get started. So the first thing that we need to do is understand where you're at and evaluate your lifestyle. It's really important to establish good goals, especially using the SMART method for short and long-term goals. So you can set yourself up for success by knowing what you're working towards. That's the idea of setting a goal. Everyone should establish short and long-term goals, whether having exercise for a long time or if you're just getting started. Here's a few things that you can take into consideration while starting your new goals. You want to think about your personal interests, the basic physical activity recommendations, and what you'd like to achieve from your exercise program. So thinking about all those things. If you need some help, I would recommend meeting with a health fitness professional. You can do this at home, even online. There's lots of resources these days, or you can go out into the community. Always do research on the professionals that you're meeting with. Ask them for their qualifications, and if they've worked with older adults in the past, get to know them and have high expectations of their professionalism. It's important to start slowly and make gradual changes to have long-term success. It doesn't happen overnight. It's really important to figure out what appeals to you. Living well isn't just about exercise. You can start by asking your friends some of the things that they are interested in. It's likely that you're also interested in a few of the same things, and you might be able to do them together. Your community has lots of resources available also. There's the fitness center staff, the life enrichment team, the monthly calendar and newsletter. There's probably an internal TV station that has lots of good information on it. You might try signing up for a trip or joining a club or taking a class. All of those things are really great ways to figure out what you enjoy doing. And then once you figure that out, keep doing more of those things and try new things as well. So by looking into the resources at your community, you'll probably find a list of programs and activities that fit with your lifestyle and any health conditions that you might have. By talking to your friends about what they are interested in, you're probably able to find a couple of things that you have in common that you can do together. They may have a hobby that you don't know about yet. It might be something that you could try. And when you sign up for a class, it might just be a one-time thing that doesn't need any commitment, but it's a great way to find out something that you're interested in. Here are a few physical wellness activities that you can try. Some of these may make you sweat a little bit, but they might not feel like exercise if you enjoy it. So as you can see on this page, we've got quite a few activities that you can try, and you might discover something that you love. And we can do the same thing with this list of intellectual wellness activities. So we have trivia, scavenger hunts, escape rooms are very popular now, attending a lecture like this one that you're listening to. Learning a new language has never been easier with programs like Rosetta Stone, or Duolingo is a great free phone app that you can try. Really fun ways to learn a new language. In your community, there are probably a few spiritual and emotional activities that you can try for wellness as well. So a few of these would include yoga, Tai Chi, and meditation. There are probably some prayer meetings that you could be involved in as well. All of these are opportunities to practice emotional and spiritual wellness. In this day and age, there are so many resources available on the internet that you can access as well. So a few online resources for physical wellness can be found at goforlife.nia.nih.gov. So look up on the screen here and just write down a few of these that you'd like to do more research on and try. There's lots of free online brain games that you can explore. Like I mentioned earlier, learning a language online it's never been easier. Emotional and spiritual wellness can be practiced online as well with these links that you see here. But the question that you want to ask yourself is, what can you do to get started today? So here are a few things that you can do to live more actively as soon as you walk out the doors. Try those neat brain boosters that we talked about earlier in this presentation. Do those all day, every day to boost your brain. You can stop by the fitness center and talk to your fitness manager for a few great ideas from them, or check the community calendar for something new to get involved in. Everybody, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me for this Living Well presentation. Thank you, everybody. I hope you learned something new and that you'll find something new that you enjoy.